And we live. What's going on, everybody? I don't know if they can see. Everybody, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Sharpshooters Podcast. I don't know if they can see. Everybody, what's going on? What's going
Yeah.
I don't know if they can see.
I can see you. We can see you on YouTube.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sharpshooters Podcast. I'm your humble and gracious host, Mr. Brinsky Sharp, on the ones, the twos, the threes, the fours, and the fives, and the six. Appreciate everybody that's in the house tonight. Y'all already know we about to talk some Alabama football, which is everybody's favorite thing. Appreciate everybody coming on in here. Bring it on in, bring it on in, everybody. Got Trap Panel. What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you coming on in here, dog. About to talk some Alabama football, man. I guess Twitter tripping right now.
Yeah, it's been acting weird all day.
Yeah, I was trying to connect to all the people down there and on Twitter and stuff. But what's going on, man? What you got going on?
Hey, man, I ain't got nothing going on. Just another day in paradise. Living a dream.
Oh yeah. We got Anitra in the house. What's going on? What's going on, man? Y'all come on in, hit that like button and subscribe button. We talking all Alabama football tonight. All Alabama football tonight. Y'all send in your questions and all that, man. We gonna answer every last one of them.
Every
Dealing with the
single one.
team, which y'all concerned and everything. She's saying, "What's up with you, Jay Walt?"
Anitra, what's happening?
Oh yeah, man, it's going down. But yeah, man, started off. I'm trying to see where we're gonna start off. Well, since we on the first week um of spring practice, we see that there's a lot of names being out there. We're gonna talk about those freshmen that's standing out, transfers that's standing out. There's a lot of good things coming out of Alabama right now, man.
Yeah, man, it's looking up. Year two under the board. We're gonna have some consistency. Got Grubbs coming in. I'm just excited, man. It should be a good year.
Oh yeah. So after watching the first week, who you got your eye on?
Honestly, a couple of people, man. Dijon Lee and Cam Calhoun, man. I think that transfer is gonna do some. He's gonna turn some heads, man. He was already like a top 10 corner in college football, and you still decide that I'm gonna leave, take my talents to Alabama, where there's
Mhm.
already one, fringe first round pick. I'm sure after he goes through a combine next year, he'll be a first round pick, and a freshman who grew tremendously over the course of the year. So him finding
Mhm.
his footing in there and bringing what he did at Utah to Alabama, man, I'm excited to see what he does, man. That boy is physical, can run. He got everything.
Yeah, man. I think he's gonna play that Husky position for us for real. Because it could be him and Deshaun Jones, but I'm not 100% sure. But I believe like Cam has the advantage right now, and I think a lot of other folks believe he gonna play that inside
Yeah.
at the Husky position. But before we go any further, my dog just stepped in here. Haven't been on with him in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all give a big hand clap and a major shout out to a good brother. He's doing big things as always. My main man, Jance. What's going on, brother?
What up,
What,
Chance?
what's up? What's up, fellas? What's up? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. But man, good to be back on the Sharpshooters podcast as usual.
Oh yeah, man. You know we happy to have you on here. I was about to say, man, what you what has the first week? What stood out for you on the first week? Any players, coaches, or anything that you seen?
Obviously, I think is you guys were talking about a little earlier, man, but it's definitely Dijon Lee. Getting more depth in the secondary is very, very crucial for this team. Of course, I think last year, uh, we showed a lot of upside last year with a lot of the youth, especially at more of the Husky position. Red Morgan, obviously, we wanted to kind of see some more from him. Devontae Smith was injured, so he wasn't really 100% throughout the season. Transferred to Notre Dame, so that spot was available. Um, Dijon Lee is a very, very interesting player because I was talking about this a little bit earlier. But if that's a guy that continues to ascend and continues to, you know, he continues to show that upside, is there a possibility? I mean, because obviously you got BJ Calhoun, who, I mean, Calhoun is a guy that again, he's a guy that you probably would expect to play there. He's got versatility. He can play in and out. That's what they kind of had him at Utah, and I would say he's probably more of a, if anything, I would say his strong suit is more of a man coverage sort of corner. But then again, though, they had him play. I mean, Utah primarily played cover three more than anyone in the Big 12, and he was able to succeed in that particular aspect. So, Calhoun's got some versatility as well. But my fantasy that was kind of rumbling around was, if Lee continues to ascend, and let's just and he continues to dominate, what happens with him? Do you, because I mean, Damani Jackson's is he secures the spot. Does Xavier Brown, is that spot secured, or do you do you have a competition? Best man wins. Well, what happens if Lee wins? He wins the outside. You can't leave out Brown. So does Brown slide into more of a, because I actually thought Brown, if there was anything, I thought Brown was a guy that could play more as a Husky because of his, not just that, but his more, I would say that he's kind of more of a hybrid guy that can play box as well. But could Brown play as a Husky, and then all of a sudden for your safety spot, Calhoun also, I mean, Calhoun's played safety before. He's played all three spots. So, it's interesting, man, because I actually think the Alabama strength is definitely their secondary. I think that is the strength of their defense, and so I'm excited, man. I saw a lot. I saw some things more particularly. Now, of course, the quarterback play. How. Obviously, I think the secondary, from what I've heard, is one more. So, I mean, how is the quarterback play, is that bad, or is it just strength on strength? Knowing for Alabama's receiving core, but definitely the two things that stood up for me was definitely that secondary. And then I would probably say, if anything else, I think the thing that worried me a little bit, and this is going to worry me all year. Don't care what happens. Don't care how the spring game works out. The offensive tackle spot scares me to death. It scares me to death how we have so many young guys, lack of so much inexperience. That is, I mean, the spring game, it can maybe some reassurance. We've seen it though for the last 3 to 4 years. We haven't had an elite offensive line. I would argue we haven't had a top 15 offensive line in 5 years. So we are extremely thin at tackle, and so we're gonna have to tackle so hopefully the spring portal, when that opens up in April, hopefully we can start to tackle that, because we got to get more depth there.
Oh yeah, man, without a doubt. I think getting Gillsbury out of Texas A&M was a big pickup. He can probably slide in Tyler Booker's spot. I remember Coach Al. I think maybe you two said they can see man, I forgot his name just that quick. Our left tackle.
Proctor.
Proctor.
Thank you.
Yep.
We put Proctor at guard because how big he is and his feet and all that. Like, he's great in the run game, but they just, like, in the pass game, he's like a little slow or whatnot. But I think he's gonna drop some of that weight, but still keep his strength. But I think he do need to lose a little weight. But I think he needs to be a lot better this year. And I believe he's going to be a lot better this year. So only time gonna tell with that. So we'll see how that go. And also, is Jaden Roberts going to stay healthy and all that? Ain't no telling. Because when he's out there, he usually do well, but he just stay hurt all the time. And that's what I just don't understand about him. So it's gonna be one of the most interesting positions. And I felt like after that COVID year, man, we just been down here. Because if you look at that 2001 class, it looked horrendous now because a lot of those guys did not pan out, and that's really hurting the program and that up to this point for the most part because you don't have that depth from like Kobe Prentice, the Brockermeyers. Who else was in there? The only thing that we probably had out of that success was like I think yeah, Kool Aid and Terry Young was in that, or was it 2001? It probably was 2002. Yeah, it was one of those years. Whatever year the Brockemeyer twins and Jalen and all them came in, that was like one of the worst years I ever seen. Like on paper, it looked good at the time, but if you look back on it, a lot of those guys didn't pan out. And I just want to give a shout out to Bishop Frank. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Appreciate you coming up in here. Big salute to you, fam. Anitra, Sammy, Coach Jans, give him a shout out as always. You know, we always happy to have Jans in here. So, yeah. Okay, fellas. We talked about one of the things that scared me last year was that secondary for the most part. But it's clearly this year. Well, even last year, turned out to be one of our strongest points time at towards the end of the year. But what other position you think is our strongest outside of O line being our weakest? What other give me another strong position and another weak position that we really need to work on this year?
I think our running back room is going to be much better this year. I think honestly it had the potential to be strong last year, but the utilization was down tremendously. Um, I mean, it's honestly loaded with guy after guy after guy, and I'm just waiting for the cream to kind of rise to the top when it comes to the running back. You know what you get with Jam Miller. Um, let's see what Daniel Hill can do. Let's see if where AK Deer is going to fit in. Let's see where the transfer is going to fit in. I mean, I expect three or four running backs to get touches every game because at some point you're going to have to, or they're just going to leave anyway. But I think they have the talent, and I think with the way that our offensive line is set up, with Proctor being 370 pounds, you're going to have to lean on them more to run the ball because his feet aren't fast enough to just drop back, drop back, drop back. Especially with us not knowing what the quarterback situation is going to look like with any of the guys that are there now. None of them have experience at all being the guy, so I think we're going to have to lean on the run. So, and I think that those guys do have the talent. So I expected a 1,000-yard rusher this year for sure. It's been, how long has it been since we've had one?
2 years.
And it's insane.
Unheard of at Alabama.
Exactly, it's insane. So yeah, I kind of expect our running back room to be the leaders on offense this year.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be for real. I'm gonna let Jans go ahead. My fault, Jan.
Uh, I would probably see. I think running back. I definitely think that's a strength. I mean, cause like I said, I'm not trying to be redundant with some of my points. Yeah, tackle's still the weak. I would say the entire offensive line, just definitely the weak point. But then I have questions about tight end. I think last year we had a pretty underrated tight end room. We had a couple of key blockers. One of them was more of an H back. I'm just wondering who are going to be. I mean, obviously you have Danny Lewis. Obviously this there, but who are going to be the key blockers? Who are going to be the guys that if we start to run a lot more. Which again, Ryan Grubb is a play. I mean, Ryan Grubb ran at his time in Washington. They ran the highest percentage in terms of 12 personnel in the country. So 12 and 13 personnel is a stable mark for their team. So, for Ryan Grubb's offense, even with the Seattle Seahawks that did the exact same thing. So, who are going to be those guys and who are going to be those key blockers, especially, Danny Lewis is a guy that is a inline block. He's more of an inline guy. Again, I don't think that he's like your Harold, not your Elijah Arroyo or your Colston Loveland sort of player where you line them up out wide or you line them up in the slot. I think Lewis is a traditional inline tight end with a lot of athletic ability prowess to him. But, obviously, when, CJ Dupree was an inline guy who was who was an athlete that could block. Like you can make an argument he might have been the best blocking tight end in the country. And so, which is crazy that we did not have a 1,000-yard rusher with that dude as a blocker, whatever it is, what it is. But I do have some questions about the tight end room, especially because knowing Ryan Grubb's philosophy, and I do agree that our running count is going to be massive. You're going to see a lot deeper. You're going to see a lot, maybe not as deep as maybe not as deep as we were last year, but in terms of the rotation, we're going to see a much deeper rotation. Our run percentage will go up. I would say that again. Like with, and I'm not even going to count Miro in the run game. Like the amount of times that we simply just got away from the run game, it looked like it might have been in certain occasions 70-30, which was crazy when Jalen Miro was struggling and we're still trying to attack it. And, it was insane to watch. That's not going to be the case this year, especially with, Ty Simpson being the guy. Like, yes, Ty Simpson is going to be more of a prototypical fit. Austin Mack's going to be more of a prototypical fit. Keelan Russell is going to be more of a prototypical fit within the offense. But they're all first-year players within Ryan Grubb's scheme, and it is different from Sheridan, right? They do have similarities, of course, but it's different. And so this is going to be more of a this is going to be more of a power run based sort of offense that does have a lot of they do have a lot of zone based concepts within it, but for the most part it's mostly power. They mostly love to kind of power run a little early in those early stages. And so I'm very interested to see what knowing our tight end group is, how good are they going to be as blockers? What's the in terms of receivers, how good are can they be, and how much involved can they be as receivers, as inline guys within it. I'm very interested to see what kind of happens there. But no, tight end would probably be my biggest kind of concern outside of offensive line.
Yeah, and we ain't been using our tight ends at all over the years.
Exactly.
And I just don't like, man, I feel like we really wasted CJ Dupree. I felt like that was a weapon that we could have really used because you can see, especially when I went down at the Senior Bowl, like the crazy catches that he was making. I was like, damn.
He's such a good blocker, man. He was such a
Mhm.
good blocker, and we just underutilized him. It's insane.
Yeah, and we don't need to do that at all with the guys that we have coming in, especially these are more passing, more receiver type tight ends that's coming in more than blocking. But I know they're gonna have to learn how to block at least a little bit if they want to even touch the field. So, but I know we're gonna have better passing play this year. But the one thing I know for sure, they're gonna definitely have to lean on the running backs a lot more. And those guys are gonna love that because they really haven't been getting the touches that they deserve. Because it's been more like in the RPO, like Jalen was doing a lot of pulling than giving it off to him, which I felt like a lot of times he should have gave them to him because at some point down the line in the season, a lot of teams start to catch on to that. Like he's not giving them the ball. He's trying to make a play every play. That's why I felt like Oklahoma stopped us, even though we pretty much ran the same game plan that we ran against LSU against them, which is terrible. But that's no here, no there. But it'll be all right. But yeah, you said tight end, and Jason, which one you said?
I said the strength would be the running backs.
But what was
I'm,
your
I'm
weakness?
pick one. Uh, in like honestly, I'm I'm very unsure of our linebackers. with Deontay Lawson being out, Jihad being gone. I mean, we have a transfer coming in, but we'll have to wait and see. So I mean, I'm definitely terrified about the linebacker play. Obviously, offensive line, and honestly, quarterback. Because I mean, you in college football, you're really only going as far as your quarterback is going to take you.
Mm-hmm.
So with us not knowing what we really have, I mean, we've seen Ty Simpson in spurts. He's looked decent at some points, and some points he's absolutely looked like a deer in headlights out there. And you got Austin Mack, you don't really know much about, and Keelan Russell's new. So I have more concerns than I would say we have strengths right now.
Yeah, I about to say it's relatively unknown at that quarterback position right now. I believe ultimately it's gonna go to Ty because you can just tell by the coach's comments. Ryan Grubbs, he was just like uh Ty took a big step the second day of practice, and I was like, And then you can hear it out of Jeremy Bernard. He said Ty is just has a different focus right now. Like you can tell that he wants to take this job. Like he wants this to be his team, and he's taking on that leadership. Not saying he wasn't doing that before, but of course we knew it was like Jalen's team. But now this is his opportunity. Like the job is basically yours to lose. And everybody wants you to step up and be the 5-star that we expect you to be. But I always been defending him in a lot of parts because in a lot of games that he only made one start, and clearly that one star was against South Florida, which was one of the worst. My fault. One of the worst weather games I have ever seen that Alabama has ever played, especially with them stopping the game twice. And Ty was in there, and we expect him to throw the ball good in that game. I legit have not seen him have an actual chance to actually throw the ball in a game outside of garbage time and all that other stuff. So I'm interested in seeing how that's going to go. But let me see where we can start with. Which I'm really interested in knowing this from you, Jance. What are your expectations? Because clearly, I believe Kane Womack is about to have a lights out year because those guys pretty much know his system. Got a lot of other guys coming back, but I want to know what you expect from the defensive coordinators. I mean, defensive coordinator Kane Womack and the offensive coordinator Ryan Grubbs, and how they're going to play off each other this year.
I think it's going to be a much in terms of continuity purposes. I think it's going to be much better compared to what it was last year because technically Nick Sheridan ran Ryan Grubbs' offense. It's just that Nick Sheridan kind of called the plays. A lot of that base formula was Ryan Grubb. A lot of the playbook was Ryan Grubb. Sheridan was the one that just called it. So in terms of just transition wise, I actually think that this is going to be a much smoother. This is going to be a much smoother transition. I think the players are going to be a little bit more familiar. Are definitely going to be more familiar in terms of what they kind of expected Ryan Grubb, what they expect him to be, especially the players that are going to be returning back. Before obviously Nick Sheridan kind of, had the keys handed to him a little bit, but Sheridan. I mean, honestly, again, Grubb and even DeBoer. Like DeBoer gets involved. DeBoer does get involved with the offense. He gets involved with the receivers. They're a perfect dynamic duo. They've literally been around each other for almost 20 years. I have no question about it that this offense will be improved from to this year. I expect the run game to be a lot better from this year to compared to last year. The talent may not be as good in terms of what we're losing. Obviously, losing Tyler Booker is going to be a key piece. But I will say this in terms of philosophy. Yeah, we're going to be a lot better. I do think that players are going to be put in positions where they can succeed. Something that I just felt like we struggled to find an identity offensively last year. We kept putting players out of position. We struggled at the right tackle spot because we had a run blocker, primarily played more pass snaps, and more and going and be on more passing sets than run sets. We had a pass blocker play more run sets than passing sets. It was just so much, and even then he still struggled. But still, it's like we're playing players out of positions on the offensive line, and then you had the personnel issues as well, which came with it. Like it was a total mess. Jalen Murrow was. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Some fans are not gonna agree with me. He wasn't put in the best possible situation. He just wasn't. And I feel bad for him because this is 3 years in a row where he's dealt with 1 year coordinators whose offense fully isn't utilized because Jalen he can't learn it. How are you expecting him to grow and develop when he keeps changing an offense every single 1 year after year after year after year? And even when I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna go on a Jalen Murrow tangent because you know a lot, Bresky, a lot of these fans, that just
They're
hate on
horrible,
Jalen
man.
Murrow is like
They're horrible.
yeah, it is what it is. But no, I think that we have a lot more players that fit exactly what we want to do offensively. This recruiting class, like look at their physical intangibles. Look at their size. I mean, we're recruiting a lot smaller. We're getting faster. We're getting a lot more lengthier, especially in the secondary. A big reason why is because that's just what typically what this coaching staff wants to do. They want to recruit players that fit exactly what they want to do. And honestly, we've had too many Saban-like players that they're more kind of respected, they're more kind of considered in a Saban-like scheme, and it just does not fit what we want to do, especially when you're playing, let's just say in a four, like you're playing in a more of a heavy, in a 4-2-5 defense. uh Again, like you got to get faster. You got to get players with a lot more range, and it's a big transition compared to what Saban ran, compared to what well, not a huge transition because we've always been running a nickel, but it's but there's differences. There are big differences, and so, I think that this is a much more smoother transition, especially offensively. But like I said, I think the big key thing is that we are going to run the football way more. I think we're going to go back to being a little bit more to having more of a power run scheme compared to zone. And sometimes just playing smash mouth football, not really having the offensive line have too many responsibilities. Not really. I mean, again, like don't expect for us. And we're still going to run RPO based concepts. We're still going to run some zone based concepts on the offensive line. But we will. I'm predicting that we're going to run a lot more power scheme because a lot of this offensive line is still what there's. I'm not going to say Ty Maurice guys, but they're big guys. They're very big guys that are not that's weaknesses. Like they're not quick, right? They don't have huge or big lateral movement. Like they're not that quick, And so until we get those guys, like let's be honest, a Parker Brailsford or more of a Wilkin Formby sort of caliber player, or Rosengarten, who was a 6'8" but 305-pound lean, smaller guy, but a tackle with quick feet. Olufautanu from who was drafted in the first round. Like we Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer on this offensive line. They like big but small and lean guys on the offensive line. And Roberts is 305, fits perfectly. Booker didn't though, and Booker was great. Booker was 350. It was 50 pounds. Caden Proctor is a guy I still think they should move inside the guard. Is 350 pounds. He's not, and you saw he struggled against players that primarily played Y9, like Landon Jack. We turned Landon Jackson into a second round pick. I'll never forgive Caden Proctor. We turned we turned him into a second round prospect because that was his showcasing. Because all they did was, because Landon Jackson mostly played as a 5, they just moved him out wide to 9 because they said themselves, based off of film, Caden can't. Caden struggles against those sort of players. He struggles against players that convert speed to power. That's exactly what happened his freshman year, and that's exactly what happened his second year. So we got to get until it's honestly gonna take us a couple years, but we got to get more nimble. We got to get more faster. We got to get faster in certain spots still. But I just believe that overall wise, we in terms of the transition from Grubb, from Sheridan to Grubb, it's going to be a much better transition.
Man, I couldn't say it any better, man. You were just, hey, you were spot on, spot on with that, bro. I know one thing that we was talking about last week that I wanted uh and Jason, I want your input on this too. Well, like some of the guys' numbers that some of the new guys and their numbers and all that, but this isn't one of the first ones I wanted to show. I see Laciel Brooks with that 17 on, man. So you can tell like he's been getting a lot of comp from Jalen Waddle. And I believe that's an awesome comp. And I believe he's trying to take on that role. Like, yeah, I'm trying to be just like him, if not better. I just want to know y'all thoughts on that. Just him basically saying I'm ready to take on that role and be that guy.
I mean, I love the confidence. 17 is a special number at Alabama. Waddle, Kenyon Drake. Typically, they are whoever wears 17 is a guy that can move. You know what I mean? So, and if you go look at his film, he can move.
Mm-hmm.
His ability to cut on a dime without losing speed is it looks like Waddle. His ability to get in and out of breaks is awesome, man. That kid, if given the right opportunity, is going to be very special in a Ryan Grubb style offense, which we've seen they do stretch the field, but they are going to work the intermediate routes. They're going to work the short routes. So getting that kid the ball in space is, oh my God. I wouldn't want to try to come up with a scheme where you're trying to defend him and Ryan Williams at the same time, especially if they're on the same side of the field. Like he's a special kid, man. I expect some big things out of him. Maybe not initially because we do have some guys in front of him. So, but I think he is the type of kid that you have to at least put a package together for him to get him out on the field to get that experience so he can get his game reps up, and he's gonna grow. And if we give him the chance, I think he's going to be super special, man. That 17 is different in Alabama, man. You know how it is.
I muted myself.
You muted.
Oh, my fault. Anybody on this list that sticks out to you? Or defenses? Well, it can be on this list too. My fault. Sorry, I clicked over so quickly.
Yeah, man, Jackson Lloyd may have to switch to 57. Man, I just went through PTSD with Elijah Prickett wearing 57, so I need him to switch that jersey right away if possible. No, Lacier Brooks though, I'd say Lacier Brooks is man, I love that kid, man. I really that dude in a couple years is going to be a star. I really think so, man. Especially if he gets his opportunities. Again, lateral speed. May not again. I don't. He may not be the a 4-2 guy, but the Tyreek Hills and Jalen Waddles. One things that makes those kids so special is the combination of both. And he's not a straight line guy. He's a guy that relies solely on lateral movement. Then converts it to speed, which makes him a home run threat sort of player. Yeah, that's something I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, he reminds me so much of Zay Flowers. It's insane, man.
Yeah, he's a human joystick. That dude, man.
I believe he's gonna if given the opportunity, man, he's gonna make a splash in the spring game for real. I believe he's gonna really make a splash, bro. I think every Alabama fan, and shout out to Ty, because Ty was like the main person that was like Lacier Brooks. Lacier Brooks. He was just trying to put everybody on Lacier. And he was like, a lot of people gonna pay attention to the stars, which I don't know why we got to keep saying this over and over. Them stars don't matter, because if stars matter, we'll win a national championship every year.
God, I
and
hated
and a lot of
seniors.
and some of our best players were 5 stars, like Josh Jacob, Eddie Jackson, man, just to name a couple. But they're no here, no there. But I believe he's gonna shine. Shout out to Miss Janet, as always. Roll Tide, Brinson
Hey, Miss
Jason.
Janet.
Appreciate you as always
Miss
for all
Janet.
your support. Oh yeah, man. Definitely appreciate all your support and all you guys, man. Like I said, make sure you guys keep hitting that like and subscribe button. Hopefully also shout out to Coach Sean, Ty, uh Coach Al, Coach Al, Coach Carl, Jay, Jason, uh all the guys. I'm sorry, man. Just want to shout those guys out too, just in case I forget, because those guys always showing love, and whenever they have their channels open, try to get over there and make great content with them guys. It was good friends, especially like Jans and stuff. Just good to have them on here. But continue to show. Now we was talking about. I think okay, which guy you think that's coming in this year, not freshman, that's a transfer that you think can make an immediate impact outside? We already believe that Cam Calhoun is going to. I think majority of us agree that we believe he's going to play that Husky position for the most part. I believe, but outside of him, anybody else that you guys see coming in, and you can add freshmen on there too if you want. And if it is a freshman, try to add extra play on there that you think is going to be a big impact this year.
Well, yeah, obviously, I think like Green, no, Hill Green is going to be a player to watch out for. I mean,
Mhm.
both our linebackers are starting. Let's presume starting linebackers are sidelined. So, Green's the guy that's leading the charge, and obviously, I think he had a pretty good season with Colorado last season. But linebackers, man, are tricky because a lot of linebackers, and the same thing with the secondary. It's very scheme dependent. Now the good thing is that their defensive scheme was a little similar, I believe, to ours. I could be wrong about it. I have to go back and watch, but from what they just kind of for how the spacing of what their linebackers played compared to compared to the spacing of our linebackers, which was very very wide, but Green was mostly a guy that excelled in the box. Um, you know, that's obviously Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson are different caliber players
Yep.
because of the speed and athleticism, the amount of range that they can cover. Green is a guy that does have some athleticism, but he's not as rangy as Campbell, nowhere near as rangy as Campbell. So that's why Justin Jefferson, who was more of a third down sort of guy. This is what obviously him missing. I mean, that's his value. He's going to be a third down player. I do have some questions about Green to see can he be a three down sort of guy, or is he going to be um, what's that linebacker we had Tresman Marshall? Is he going to be a Tresman Marshall sort of player where he's going to be more of
Mhm.
a box sort of player?
Yeah.
What is that's he's going to be interesting to see what happens with him. But just in terms of it's just some transfers, like you look at him. Obviously, we talked about Cahoon, but Green is going to be a player to look out for because according to 24/7 Sports, 4-star, which may not tell you something, but just from a production standpoint, he had a pretty good
Mhm.
season. But I probably see him more as a box linebacker that could have some upside to potentially being three down. But again, we're gonna have to see how good he is during coverage. Again, I got to go back to watch one of those Colorado films because again, just didn't really he didn't pop out as a third down sort of player. Um, he just didn't pop out to me. So we'll see.
Man, I'm glad you said that because I felt the same way. I'm like I know some people got excited off of him, but I was just like, I'm. I, and I watched a lot of Colorado games, and I did not remember him at all. And so I don't know what to expect from him. I don't know what we're going to see during these spring games and all that and practices. But they saying he up to this point he's that guy, but only time will tell. Nidra had Isaiah
Yeah.
Horton. I believe he's gonna play a major part, but I'm interested in seeing how he plays too. That was it. It's just a whole wide receiving core, and especially having Jalen Barkway on that side now. More than likely, probably play slot. Just trying to see how he's gonna adapt to that side. So I'm interested in who's gonna return kits too, because I necessarily don't want Ryan back there, but I know he's sure-handed anytime he catches the ball on that. What about you, Jason? What's anybody coming in that you expect to have an immediate impact?
Well, Anitra kind of took it from me. I think Isaiah Horton has a chance to make an immediate impact. If you go look at his film, it doesn't wow you. You know, the plays don't jump off the screen to the average person, but what you notice is he's sure-handed, and a sure-handed receiver, a bigger bodied receiver. He's 6'4". Uh, he has the potential to be the chain mover on the
Mm.
offense, and that's going to matter for a new quarterback. They need someone that they know for sure. I can, I got a safety valve. I mean, you have Ryan; he's electric. Jeremy is, he's consistent too. But these guys, they're not 6'4". So red zone presence is going to be his thing. If you go look at what he does well, he catches the ball. He does not have a lot of drops. He didn't hit 1,000 yards last year, but if you go look at the tape, it was meaningful play after meaningful play after meaningful play. And I was trying to be unbiased because he did have Cam Ward throwing him the ball, which at that point, Cam's pretty elite. So we're gonna see, man. But I expect him to really come in and make an impact. He's not the fastest guy. He's not a burner, but he's sure-handed. He's gonna move the chains.
Cool, cool. Now, I know one thing that I love more than a lot of times watching some of the games is recruiting. Like I try to keep a close eye on recruiting and who the guys they going after, all the people that I want them to go get. I know last year for sure. I think learning about Keelan Russell and just that showed me that this coaching staff, like they know how to spot talent for sure. Because if you like somebody that was under the radar and that clown down there at LSU, uh, thinking that Alabama fell off just because the kid was a 3-star that ended up being the number 2 player in the nation on most sites and even number 1 on another site. But that's no here nor there. That shows you how much they know. And we see how LSU going down. So that shows me how much talent he knows. But one of the guys that I truly wanted on this squad last year, well not last year, but coming into this season was Dejon Lee, and we got him. So I'm interested in knowing because I know you guys like recruiting too. Anybody that you guys got your eye on that you feel like is it how can I say it? Not even a must must have, but you really want on the team because you know they'll be a good fit on this team. Anybody you have your eye on, anybody that's under the radar that we should be paying attention to. Just any recruit. I just love to hear y'all perspective on this.
Sure, Brandon Arrington, Sadarian Morgan, Tristan Keys.
Whoa,
Uh,
just go right out
those
there.
those are my no, those are my three. Like those are must gets. Especially, man, Brandon Arrington is at the top of my list for sure. Just the thought of Dijon Lee, Xavier Brown, and Brandon Arrington on the field at the same time it should keep OCs up all night.
Hey man, that would be lovely too, man. Oh my god, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Brandon Arrington is definitely somebody At first I didn't think we had a chance until he came to Alabama and he just loved the trip, and I was like, okay. And then he dropped his top 12. I'm like, all right, I like what I see. And then you go look at his highlights. It's
He's
just like,
different.
dang.
He's different.
And then I was like, damn, man, which position he gonna play? And then they say, oh, he trying to play.
All of them.
Like, ooh, he trying to play corner? I was like, okay. I like what I see. I like it. I like it. And so you're gonna have all them California boys back there, which a lot of people try to like hate on those guys, but I'm like, bro, if you can play football, you can play football. I don't care. Just bring in the talent. But Jans, anybody recruiting wise, I would love to hear. And I'm gonna come back to you, Jason, because I want you to explain those other two too.
Oh, I need y'all to explain this to me. I'm lost to see. Like, ever since the transfer portal, man, I'm done. I have stopped, man. The portal got me, man, because I'm like, man, you spent hundreds, if not thousands, of hours on the transfer portal on recruiting, and then you like, oh man, you're scouting, and then all of a sudden they transfer the next day. I'm like, oh no, I'm done. It's over for me. So
yeah, man. Which I totally understand. Which is very understandable, man. That's why I really want them to just like put in some type of rule. Like once you sign to a team, you got to at least stay there for 2 years. And if you choose to stay, like if you leave that first year, you have to sit out a year. Just something, just to
That's
control.
Crazy. 27 blue chip players that signed to a school this for the 25 cycle. 27 kids signed. Not even a week, they all left. They all transferred within that week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you know how do you know how just I know if you're part of that scouting department that spent thousands of hours trying to recruit a kid, and they come to the university and then a week later they leave. That's gotta be one of the worst feelings. Because I'm like, dude, I just wasted my time for.
Being a recruiter is probably the worst job in college sports at this
point. Yes. They're severely underpaid, and probably in terms of they probably do the most work out of anybody in college athletics.
For it to be able to sign people and then for it to mean absolutely nothing 7 days later. It's insane,
man. That is really insane, bro. Like I did not know that. So that's a great stat right there, James, which just shows you. That's why I say, man, we really one day. That's why I said I need you, Coach Sean, all of us, man, to just talk about this. And the show is just going to be strictly just talking about that, like the whole structure of college football right now. Because I promise you, this conversation can go on and on and on, just how bad it is. Like we root for the players to get their money and all that, but anything in life, and I mean literally anything in life, has to have structure in it. No matter what it is, you have to have structure in it, or it's just doomed to fail. And clearly, those guys are taking full advantage of the system. I know I would.
I'm not mad at it.
But I'm just thinking that at their age, I'm like, what do you expect a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-olds? But I feel like a lot of those guys be just like they abusing the system. Like, bro, you're on your fourth team in 3 years. Like, come on. Like, you show commitment problems. I don't even like kids that just commit to a team, then decommit and commit to a team and decommitting. Like, I don't even want to play if you're doing all that. Like, just go through your process. And if that's where you want to be, commit to it. I never understood you commit to a team and then all of a sudden you be like, I'm committed to a team, but I'm still taking these visits over here. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and this stuff is easily fixable. Me and Brinsky have talked about this so many times. Like, it's so easy to fix it.
I wouldn't say it was easy, because if it was easy,
no. It is. It's relatively simple to fix this. You make one transfer portal period. You make it after the season is over. You make it so that when freshmen come in, they have to stay there for 2 years, because you can't be mad at somebody for being a junior when they could go to the NFL and get paid and not wanting to be buried on a depth chart.
Yeah. And I think it's like beneficial if you just sit, man, like Tyler Booker was saying like last year, man. Like you probably just wasn't good enough to play on the field. So work on your game to get better. Then see if your grade's gonna even transfer and all this stuff. Like it doesn't make any sense. Now, what Miss Janet said, that's why I won't be buying any jersey with players' names on them anymore. They could be going in the portal a week later. Nope, nope.
It's okay,
I
Miss Janet. I'll get
I
you some Velcro.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. If you see me with a jersey on out there, it's gonna be of any old Alabama player like Julio, Smitty, Judy, or
Somebody who
Minka,
graduated.
like somebody that actually graduated from the school. I'm like, man, it's just ridiculous, man. But since damn, Chance got me right there, bro. I ain't
I
gonna
just
lie
I
to you.
I just listen. I got my own jersey. I got my own jersey with my own name on it. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
The
I need to get one.
last one was Darius. That's the last one. Last one. And the only reason why I got the Darius one was because he got drafted here, and I got that signed. So that's the last one.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm
right.
like, you know what? I'm glad I got out the game early.
Yeah, man. I don't think I bought it. As an adult, I have yet to actually buy a jersey, but I think as a kid, I damn sure had that Sean Alexander jersey. As a kid, man, I love Sean Alexander. That was my first time like actually remembering being an Alabama fan. Any other time I just had on the apparel, and I was like, yeah, that's my team. We need to beat Auburn. But shout out to Sean Alexander, the legend, should be in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, Jason. We'll talk about Tristan and Sadarian Morgan. What like why
Okay.
you want those guys here?
Tristan Keys is elite in every facet of being a wide receiver. He's more he's probably not, I wouldn't say he's as electric as Ryan, but he's much more polished as far as running routes, knowing how to read what a defense is doing, sitting down in the zone, which Ryan kind of struggled with over this last year. But this kid has everything. He has the size, he has the speed. He has everything that you would want in a wide receiver coming out of high school. And to put him with Grubb and DeBoer, it just makes so much sense. It just makes total sense. And then Sadarian Morgan, he's so I'm from that area and I see him every now and then. I remember seeing him at our high school alumni game last year, and he is last year he was 6'5" in flip flops, easily 6'5", 200 pounds in flip flops. He's built like a machine, and I mean, we typically haven't had receivers that have excelled at Alabama at that size. That's not usually our thing. If you look at the guys who come in at that size, they've either kind of fizzled out or they left. But I think he has a chance to change that entire narrative, man. I've seen a lot. I mean, they don't have a lot of his actual game film. I've seen a couple of games, gone to a couple of games, but you can go watch all of his like 7-on-7 highlights, and you can see the spark. You can see exactly why he's, number 3 or number whatever he is right now. I know at one point he was number 1, at least in Alabama, as far as wide receiver. Right now he's number 11. I'm sorry, he's not number 11. He's number 18 nationally. The dude he has the size and he plays like it. He reminds you of McMillan a lot. So I think those guys can come in and actually make immediate impacts, and hopefully they don't have to. But if we get them, it feels like we have a chance to have the ride outs back, because we have been actually pretty average at receiver over the last about 3 years or so. So we need some difference makers out there, and Tristan Keys and Sadarian Morgan look like difference makers.
Yeah, man. I know Tristan Keys is like one of those guys. I'm just like anytime I just see anything with any highlight of him, man. I just like the kid more and more. I think he's like that for real. He's one of those guys that I would definitely want in this class for real. Um, of course, I have my underdogs that I feel like it's not getting a lot of love, and I'm gonna bring them up in a second. But Anthony Tank Jones, the same way I was just talking about Dejon Lee in the class in this upcoming class. Well, the class that's already at Alabama, the 2005 class, but this 2006 class is Tank Jones out of Mobile, Alabama, playing outside linebacker. That is a must that we need because I feel like we really haven't had that edge presence. It doesn't feel like it in a while, and I feel like he is that guy, and he is definitely that dude for real, man. He's gonna really cause some trouble. I really believe he's gonna end up at Alabama. I know they are recruiting him extremely hard to bring him to Alabama. So if y'all don't know who Anthony Tank Jones is, um, definitely look him up. He is definitely that guy. I think he's nationally industry ranked. I think he's top 15. Well, out of the state of Alabama, 6'4". I think he like 220 right now, 235. I can't even tell you his weight right now, but he's a dog for sure. You already said Tristan Keys. Who else in this class? But
Crowell.
we ain't gonna get Crowell.
I think our running back room, we would have
Oh,
to get
Crowell. My fault. I'm
Crowell.
thinking
Yeah.
of I'm thinking the offensive tackle. Yes, out of Jackson, man. He is definitely another one that we need to get out this class. It was his classification was 2027, but now he's in the 2026 class. I know he's not going to start immediately, so that gives him time to put on some weight, hit that weight room, get stronger, and he's a dog, man.
Oh my
I
God.
think that's the playmaker that we really need to get in here. I think AK Deer is that guy too. I believe him and AK Deer are going to make a lot of noise. Uh, so yeah, with him coming in here too. But the two that underdogs, man, that I really feel like everybody need to pay attention to. Well, I'm going to interview, by the way. Just want to show those boys some love. First off, with and of course Jason know these two, just like I know him. Marquez Daniels.
Shout out to
He,
nephew.
yeah, he's one of the top wide receivers in the country. Think industry rank wise. Both of these guys go to Booker T. Washington High School in Tuskegee, Alabama, which is my hometown. So shout out there. But I think Quez is like 135 right now, 6'5", still growing, and can play both sides of the football. But he
Mm-hmm.
is definitely a wide receiver. You put the ball in his hands, he is a dog. He is a dog. I really want Alabama to give him that offer so I can be extremely excited for him. He got every offer known to man but that offer. Got a Georgia
Yep.
offer. Now it's time for the Alabama offer. So they need to go ahead and get that situated. So y'all definitely keep your eye on him. And easily, probably, I love the secondary. I love the secondary. And one of my favorite people. Hold on, for one, we got the legend in here. Clint, thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, man. You
Shout out
guys
to
do
Clint.
awesome work, man.
Shout out to
Ladies and
Clint.
gentlemen, Clinton Lamb down there. Man, appreciate you, man. Definitely got to get you on the show because it's a lot of guys I want to ask you about. So we gotta find the time one of these days, man. I love you guys show. Appreciate your support and all, man. Definitely gotta talk more. But yeah, man, y'all show Clint some love, man. Y'all definitely go over there and check those guys out, man. They do awesome work. And Clinton, you don't get the love that you deserve. And you get a lot of love, but you don't get the love that you deserve, man. You do awesome work for real. But The last guy, Dylan Purdy, man. My,
Mhm.
and I was just trying to figure out why Dylan wasn't ranked for the longest. I'm like, is he falling under the microscope and everything? He like was getting offer after offer in SEC, started to get LSU, Arkansas. He got the Florida offer, got the South Carolina offer, and then when they finally updated the rankings, he was in the top 300, 350. And when I say I was ecstatic for him, he is one of those ones that everybody needs pay attention to, man. I really love that kid, man. He is definitely a dog. Oh, and just want to show Clint some more love. Always, man. Just let me know and we'll set it up. Appreciate you, brother. Y'all have a great night. Most definitely, brother. But yeah, man, you guys need to pay attention to those two kids out of Tuskegee, Alabama. Two great kids, and it's always good. Two small town kids trying to get their shine on. I just really want to see these kids go far and definitely take advantage of those full scholarships and bring degrees home beyond football. Now if they go farther than that, that's cool too. But bring home those degrees too. Definitely proud of those two. But yeah, man, that was pretty much everything I wanted to talk about tonight. And I know I really want to know how Jans feel about to like really close us out because I know the hottest thing from spring to summer to fall until literally the first game is going to be who is QB1. Who is QB1? Who is QB1? Is it going to be Ty? Is it going to be Austin Mack? Is it going to be Keelan Russell? I just want to know how you think everything's going to play out, Jansen. How everything. What? How do you see this whole battle going?
I think they're going to give it to Ty because of safety. I think they're going to be safe with it. I don't want them to do it because I am a huge believer that the best quarter, whoever you believe is the best quarterback, whatever quarterback you believe has the most upside within your offense should get the opportunity. Because we've seen this with DJ Lagway last year in Florida, where I don't think DJ didn't win the job. They gave it to the a more safety security blanket instead of giving it to the quarterback with the most upside. And look what happened. DJ Lagway lasted through, was by far the better quarterback. It wasn't even close. So in terms of upside, Austin Mack and Keelan Russell are better than Ty. Like Ty's got some athletic ability. He can throw a platform. He is more of a, again, he is a pocket passing sort of quarterback who's going to stand strong in the pocket. I think his arm talent in terms of how complete he is better than is a little bit better than Jalen Milrows. Although Jalen Milrows, again, his arm and especially his ball placement down the field was really good, but Ty is a little bit more complete than Jalen. Russell and Mack, the way that they throw the football and the way that ball it comes out, it's just natural. It's just natural, no sort of struggle at all with the ball. Like Mac's arm is stronger. Like Mac has a natural arm. He can throw flat-footed, and he can launch the football extremely deep, and he has some pretty good accuracy. I've seen some clips of him, some practice footage of him when he's just throwing it flat-footed. He has some clips on Instagram, and just some of the accuracies that be like his talent, his arm talent is probably the best out of all of them. But Russell, man, in terms of just pure accuracy, is probably the best quarterback on this roster in terms of just pure, utter accuracy and just his throwing motion, mechanics. I think is probably the best. So I think they're going to go with Ty because this is year one with Ryan Grubb. If
Mm-hmm.
this was year two, I think we're having a different conversation because I think it
Mm,
becomes a much more open quarterback competition. I mean, right now they're saying it's open. I think though year two though I think you probably it's more appropriate to use it with year two
yeah.
because Mac has this is going to be what year three no, technically this is year 3 with
Yeah.
Ryan Grubb. If he would have stayed last year, and then Ty Simpson would have been year 2. Keelan Russell would have kind of came in, but he would have known exactly what sort of offense they would have ran. I mean, that's the kind of thing about Russell was that Russell, you're going from Sheridan to Grubb. Which one am I doing? But I think it would have been a much more open competition this season if Grubb would have transitioned to year 2. But this is year 1, so it's a lot more. So year 1, it's figuring out, okay, who are these quarterbacks? I don't know who these quarterbacks are. Like, what they like, what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses, and how, in terms of continuity with their skill set, which one is going to fit my offense, which one's going to progress my offense the fastest. Because instead of looking at a quarterback that skill set fits what skill set I believe can absolutely get my offense to that level, like Michael Penix did. I believe it's going to be, okay, I need the skill set that's going to progress my offense a little bit faster than what we are, because right now it's catch up. We got to play catch up. Year 1 was more catch up because Grubb left. Year two's Martin is now more catch up because now we gotta try to implement a lot of what we would a lot of the kind of more of the offensive key plays that we failed to do last year. So we got to try to install the playbook a little bit more faster. And so I just think that Ty is just a much more safer option just based off of his experience. But if it was up to me in terms of which quarterback I believe in terms of their talent, it would be Mack and Russell, and it would be the battle between there. And honestly, I would probably say Austin Mack would be the quarterback just based off of that. But I think they're going to go safe, and I think they're going to go with Ty, just based off of principle.
Yeah, man. It's really how I see the situation, man. There's no right or wrong answer to this whole quarterback situation. But I don't think it, without a doubt, Keelan is the quarterback for the future. Definitely has the most upside. I just don't want him to play so soon and like just pretty much get in the playbook, get bigger. I'm not a fan of like quarterback starting beginning like day one, literally day one, coming into the SEC because it's just different. Even with Ladway, man, he came in later on, um, even when Graham Mertz got hurt. But I felt like he was more prepared. Like it wasn't that much pressure on him to be the day one starter, to be for the Florida Gators. If Keelan start day one for the tie, I feel like it's going to be a lot of pressure, and a lot of people not going to have that type of patience with him because we know how our fan base is. Like, man, this is a freshman. Oh, and so I just really want him to just like gain his confidence, be in that playbook. Because if it come down to him and Mac, just let's just say Ty wins the job and Ty plays good and end up going to the NFL. Coming into that second year, I believe if it's between him and Austin Mack, it's no doubt in my mind that Keelan will win that job easily. So only time will tell, man. I just can't wait for it. Um, only time will tell. So we're gonna see how everything goes. But appreciate everybody coming out tonight, showing love. Love having this tide talk with everybody. Just trying to pick up where Ty started and just trying to carry that mantle with my brothers because they all make it fun to just do this because I missed the Monday conversations, just talking about college football all over. So definitely can't wait to get everybody in here on the Mondays like we used to. And we're gonna pick it back up. So definitely shout out to Ty. Appreciate Clint coming in here, the man himself. And definitely he has to be in on those talks too. Because I know he's gonna have some great inside knowledge on a lot of that stuff. So it's definitely gonna be entertaining. Can't wait to see it. Jance, my man, definitely appreciate you. Um, I know we're gonna do a lot more of this, especially getting closer to A-Day, the summer, and all that. And definitely got to keep an eye out to definitely got to keep an eye out to the spring transfer window because it's going to be different. We don't know who's going to stay and who's going to go, but we pretty much know who's going to stay, so it's all good. So everybody just shout out y'all channels and all that, Instagrams, Twitters, and all that, and we're gonna get up out of here.
Yo, it's your boy. I'm here again. You can follow me on Twitter at Crowd Noise Jaywalk. Same for the channel is Crowd Noise on YouTube. Yeah, man, follow me. I'm gonna be posting more and more and more. Appreciate my cousin Brinsky and appreciate Jance, the big dog, for coming on today. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man.
You guys can catch me on Jant Sports on YouTube, of course. If you guys want to see some more reactions, anger reactions, stuff like that, 'cause, I'm more of a ranter. Again, more of you can check me out there. You can check me on X or Twitter, Jant716. TikTok is also Jant716 as well. If you want to check me out on those social media platforms. So yeah, expect more rants, man. We're about to come close. We're about Judgment Day, spring. Don't forget, last year was crappy, so hopefully this year we start to get a little more involved within the second transfer portal window, man. So I'm excited. Just excited.
Oh yeah, man. Especially with we couldn't really attack it the way we wanted to last year, but so it's definitely gonna go down this year.
Man,
Like
it pissed me off so much, man, because I came in with I had the Shicey mask on, and then Ty had his wizard robe on, and we were prepared, and it was just let down. I mean, we got a kicker, and we had Deshaun Jones, but it's like, come on, man, I expected more.
yeah, man. But it's gonna be all right. Now I said, it's a process, and we are coming for it all this year, man. I believe we're gonna go far. We're gonna cause a lot of teams some headaches. They're not gonna want to see us, and I believe the focus is right back to being great. Not saying it left, but you just had to get a few guys out of there that wasn't trusting the process. You need everybody marching at the same beat. So can't wait to see how Coach DeBoer had the troops moving, and can't wait to see how the team progress this season. Trying not to have no bad losses, if any losses at all. Just no bad losses. So we'll see what happens down the line. But y'all catch me at the Sharpshooters Podcast. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys follow me at B_sharp on Twitter. Follow the TikTok page, which I should have been using a long time ago, which is showing a lot of love to the pod. Definitely at Sharpshooters Podcast, same logo. And also the YouTube page, of course. Hit that subscribe and like button. And always and forever, shout out to the man himself. Rest in peace. F them trees. Y'all already know what time it is. Shout out to Miss Janet. That was say I'm gonna get this on a t-shirt and walk through Auburn. But if you see me on the news or hear anything about it, it was me. But I ain't burning no trees, so don't come by my house or anything like that. but it's still F them trees, F Toomas Corner, F everything that has to do with Auburn. And they took that L this past Saturday, acting like they was the number one team, acting like this was our championship when they was doing the exact same antics at our house, but they don't like when other folks dish it out to them. So, F them scrubs and everything. Shout out to Dwight coming in like, yeah, man, you missed a lot, man. Where you at, man? Come on, man, do better. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you for coming in here too. And Miss Williams, appreciate you. Appreciate you for always supporting all of our channels. We definitely appreciate you. Definitely gonna catch that party when I come down there for A-Day. Gonna have a good time and celebrate that tide. And also your son, hopefully he'll be out there more knocking heads off. So can't wait for this season. And y'all already know. F Auburn and Roll Damn Tide. Y'all hold it down. Hold
Roll
on.
Tide.
He said,
Roll Tide.
man, over here in Atlanta in this 18 wheeler. Hey man, appreciate you just logging in, man. But you already know, man. Catch y'all on the next time. F Auburn, Roll Tide.